Fortunate to have this talk today. I'm sure all of you have been scammed or someone has tried to scam you, and it's getting rampant and more. And we have Detective Buddy here, who joined the Winter Park Police Force in 2019. He spent 5 years assigned to Criminal Investigations Division and completed over 300 hours of advanced specialized training with a strong focus on financial crimes, money laundering, and fraud. So I think he's really qualified to talk to us. And we're very lucky to have him. And thank you so much for coming. You may save people a lot of money and aggravation and high stress. So welcome.
So, how about now? Okay, much better. Okay, as I was saying, I'm less concerned about you guys. The fact that you take the time to show up to these kind of things, you're already more alert and aware and are paying attention to these scams, right? But you can take this knowledge, tell your friends, tell family members, spread it, because the biggest thing with fraud is prevention. Once you've been scammed, it's a lot more difficult to try to recoup that money, especially in the days of cryptocurrency and all of that. We'll start with a little presentation. I will take plenty of questions afterward, but we'll start here. Okay, just a quick list. Obviously, I've condensed this because I could probably teach a week-long, 2-week-long course on frauds alone. The list is huge. These are just some of the more current ones we're seeing a trend. So sweepstakes scams, you get those mailers, tax stuff, especially during tax season. You get unsolicited calls wanting to do stuff with your taxes, investor scams, Ponzi schemes, the utility company scams, grandparent scams. I'm going to touch on a few of these. So we'll start with a little video here, and this one's going to touch on a topic that you'll kind of see is a continuing theme with all of these scams, okay?
We're the Bunkin Bros, and we're back today to show you some AI scams that are infiltrating your feed, but you don't know how to spot it? Well, guess what? We're going to tell you exactly what to look for in today's episode of Debunking.
Guys, check this out. This one, oh my god, was so good. I was just browsing my feed one day and someone said what I ordered versus what I got, and I immediately saw, wait a second, that's another Mid-Journey AI image on a storefront.
AI image, AI video.
AI, and they even have AI image to video on there. The last time we showed you guys storefronts that are items that don't exist at all, but look at this. This is actually a real store where if you buy this, you will receive something. Okay.
What do you get? Yeah, what do you get? Because these look very intense.
You get.
Oh, it's free! No! No! It's working! It's printed on it! Wow! They just printed the AI image on the shirt.
We have the shirt at home.
Yeah.
Shirt at home.
So yeah, you're looking at a picture, you want to tell them it's AI, because these look pretty realistic. So what do you look for? Here's some things that you can do to tell if something's AI. The first thing to do is to pick a skinny line anywhere in the image and try to trace it and follow it, especially along the patterns. And the more you look at these lines, they start to not really make sense. They break up and they become like embedded in themselves. It's really ugly. Also, because AI image generators are basically replicating little parts of image patterns, notice how the braided knots on her shirt become almost the same texture as her hair. Because once again, it's like the same way we work as artists when you're like putting down little blobs of ink and paint. Bob Ross is a great example. Like the way he scratches the brush on the canvas, it's like, oh.
Little shout out to Winter Park.
Ways. In reality, they're just paint blobs, but they're shaped a certain way to give you a mental cue as to what they are.
Yeah.
And AI images are doing the exact same thing.
There's so many red flags before you even, get your product here, which is like $30 for a sweater like this. Like, are you kidding me? Those things are really, really hard to make. And it's so funny about this is like with like Wish and Temu and all these like drop shipping sites, like these sites exist to sell you stuff because they're sending from China, so you want to return it. It's a huge pain in the butt. It's really hard to do that. And if they send you something that's wrong and you have a problem with it, it's like, dude, you're out of luck.
Classic.
So not all AI suck. Brad Pitt, Hollywood's most handsome man, wants to be your boyfriend. Recently, a woman was scammed out of an exorbitant amount of money by Nigerian scammers pretending to be Brad Pitt. We're talking about $850,000. What? She said it all starts with Brad Pitt hitting you up on social media some way and saying, hey, I like you, I'm interested in you, and then it elevates to, you know what, I'm going to send you some gifts, some very expensive gifts, and then, oh, now there's a problem with the gifts, they're in customs, they need money to release the gifts, and then it escalates to now, I'm in the hospital, and I have medical expenses you have to pay for. And the way they were doing it, though, was eventually with doctored images and an AI video. These are an example of some of the images that were sent to her.
Yeah, even with Photoshop.
Tough, right? You know, like there's pajamas on.
Dude, the bottom right's also hilarious.
It's crazy. With the text, I love you so much, my wife.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the reason she thought that she needed to send him money is because he said that Angelina Jolie, quote unquote, froze his bank accounts. And so she had no choice but to do it. But then what happens is that news articles start coming about Brad Pitt actually entering like a relationship with like another model. So the woman starts to get suspicious. The scammers, in response, created a new news segment using AI voice and wave to lip to convince her that Brad Pitt released a statement about his new relationship and that this other woman was still his true love. So it's definitely a lot of speculation because a lot of the actual stuff that she was sent isn't released. Given the like account that she's given and stuff, it's like honestly she was just tricked with text messages, Photoshop images, and then at the very end, the Hail Mary was the AI wave to lip news source.
So what's interesting about this is that like the Brad Pitt scams have been going on since way before AI video was ever a thing.
Yeah.
It just goes to show that it's like there's always a market for people who can get scammed.
So, this was 2 Christmases ago, I think. My mom found this beautiful wreath. Said she wanted to get it for us. She's going to order it. It's going to show up in time for Christmas. It didn't show up in time for Christmas. It took a few more months. Eventually, I did get it, though. It did come. I told her, she said, it's beautiful, $200. I mean, look at the size of this thing. Those wreaths look about the size of my arm, and this woman's having to lug this thing. Well, I did carry it all the way here. Yeah, I thought about taking it right back over to Michael's. So, like they said in the video, she could return it if she's not happy with it. She got something. It's just the fees and all of the process, they just make it so complex, she just decided, it's not worth it. We get a good story out of it, and I get to share it. But, yeah, it's that easy. So this whole image is just AI generated. Like they said, you can kind of spot the differences, right? The scale's not even quite right. Those pine cones compared to the size of her head, everything about it, it's just generated on the computer. The point with the AI, these scams you're going to see are not anything new. All these scams have been around. They all have a different way of doing them. These guys are working in teams. They have a script. They make it believable. But I'm sure you've gotten those emails that have you can tell English is not their first language. I-4 to have an arrest warrant for you, will be served. You can spot it. Nowadays, they can slap that in ChatGPT and it's perfect. They're an English professor. So AI is making all these scams that much more believable. The video you saw where with Brad Pitt, that whole news thing is just generated in AI, and it's getting better and better. So the lips you can usually tell, when they try to sync them up with a script, it doesn't sync up very well. AI generally had a lot of problems with hands. It would, you'd have an extra finger or something in there. It's gotten so much better. I mean, it's gotten really, really good, and they're coming out with some incredible videos using AI now. And of course, our bad actors are going to exploit that and make all these scams just that much more believable. Just another sad story.
To be true, and it was. But when this retiree
Can y'all hear that okay?
he was the victim of an elaborate scam, it was too late. He lost all of his savings. No one deserves that, especially not Gary.
Embarrassed because you're a fool, but you're not a fool, but you got done. And then now all your plans aren't there anymore.
Gary mentioned lives a modest life in the ideal Hunter Valley, in the town of Broke. And now, thanks to an online scam, he's broke in Broke.
All up was 411,000.
Like many of his generation, he fell hard for a fake Facebook ad.
And I was following Elon Musk, and I saw him there, and I saw the Prime Minister's face there, and Julia Gillard, and a few stars through the media industry, and I thought, well, this is pretty well safe.
But it wasn't safe. It was a deep fake AI generated ad.
What's the difference between those scammers and me? First off, I'm Elon Musk, and I need nothing from you. I will show you proof that my project really works.
The ad lured investors with promises of a better life.
Taking a vacation 10 times a year, no problem. Buying a house and paying off all debts, no problem.
And it wasn't Elon Musk, you know, it was
AI generated.
AI technology, you know, and it was on Facebook, and you know.
It's on Facebook, you know it's got to be real,
After
right?
Gary saw it, he and wife Ingrid responded online and were given a number to call. That's when the mysterious Raymond entered their life.
He was just
Very
he
good.
was very good, and he's got his blues music playing in the background, and he's singing along sometimes when you're delayed because you're trying to find a password or something like that. Very skilled, very friendly,
Raymond hooked them.
highly sophisticated. The screen was there, you could read it every day, you could see it, you
It
could
was intoxicating.
It was, yeah, it was intoxicating. You go and look at it 3 times a day just to see how much money you're making.
The couple began with a $20,000 investment in the supposed cryptocurrency investment scheme. Eventually, they tipped $350,000 in, and on the scam website, watched the $350 double.
We thought we'd make $1 million within 2 weeks.
Where's your investment?
My investment's here. 1 cent.
And why is it 1 cent?
Well, it used to be a big number there.
What was the number that used to be there? 750,000.
No, it was 700,000 up to one stage. Yeah,
So once you've paid your deposit, they give you access to this site.
yeah.
But for all intents and purposes, this is still
Rubbish.
this is fantasy. Gary, a trained chef turned landscaper, and wife Ingrid fell on some hard times during the GFC 15 years ago, but rebuilt their nest egg to more than $400,000. They planned to caravan around Australia.
We definitely deserve to, you know, be successful and be given something for all the effort that we've done. I mean, my wife is a nurse. She's been a nurse all her life, and she's been a caring nurse.
He himself has received numerous awards for service in the community.
Oh, here you are. Landscaping excellence. I've got a job here with my place. Oh, hello. Queen Elizabeth II. Oh, this is the centenary medal.
Yeah.
You got a centenary medal?
Yeah.
That's all right.
Services to the community and charities and
Yeah.
other things, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Good on you.
Done my bit as an Australian, I can tell you.
Yeah. You deserve better than what you got.
The couple knew they were in trouble when they tried to withdraw money. As soon as they did, the scammers asked for a further $60,000 to release their own funds.
When we knew the money was actually gone, that's when it hit. And that's when your dreams and your future is suddenly smashed. And that's when you think to yourself, that's when the fear comes into your gut. And that's when you start to break down mentally because it takes you to a hole. You go into a hole.
But you're a smart guy, Gary. How did it happen?
That's what he kept saying.
What did he say?
He said, you're a smart guy, Barry. You know, you're not stupid. Of all the clients I have, you're clever. And he kept saying that. It's funny, isn't it?
Gary has enlisted the services of Cybertrace, which hunts down stolen money. CEO CEO, Dan Halpin.
We're dealing most of the time with international scammers who are attached to criminal syndicates. So we're an easy target, we've got money, and the main point that needs to be made here is that they know the Australian authorities won't go after them.
Gary and Ingrid are pleading for help. Firstly, from the multi-billionaire owner of Facebook.
We focus on building technology so people can interact with each other.
I'm saying to you, mate, why don't you give it back to some of the victims that have been caused by you making money out of this activity?
And the police.
Well, the police are trying to get their money back. We deserve it. And I mean, who's stopping this? Why does this ad exist?
I'm eagerly awaiting you at the next stage. See you soon. Goodbye.
You feel for Gary, don't you? And these social media giants have a lot to answer for. I don't know how many times we've alerted them to scams like these, using lots of billionaires, up TV types to rort and rip off people. We have the power to stop it, and those who do, they don't seem to care.
So kind of funny in hindsight, but it's like you said, like you mentioned there, it's not dumb people falling for this. It's they catch you in a moment you're either not paying attention, that you've got something else going on. All the scams are going to be high pressure. You got to act right now. If you ever get a call that hey, you need to do this now, you need to move it now, take a breath, slow down. If it's urgent, now's the time to stop and look at it, okay? That's a tactic. Again, they have these scripts that are very convincing. They work. These are teams of people in a call center a lot of times that are trained to do this and convince you, and they'll move from one person to another. They'll say, this is so-and-so with your bank, and you've been compromised, and I'm going to get you in touch with the FTC. Call. And all of a sudden, the FTC, who's sitting next to them, Agent Smith, will give you a call. Oh, yeah, it's absolutely legit. That's your bank. Yeah, yeah. And it looks like your account's been involved in criminal activity. So now we've got to get, FBI. Call. FBI calls you. Now you've got FBI. We need you to move your money to one of these secure government machines that happens to be located in a smoke shop or a seedy gas station down the street. Anybody familiar with these Bitcoin ATMs? God, I wish I could outlaw them. They are absolutely worthless. Do I have any crypto investors? Anybody got any money in crypto? Thank you. If anybody wants crypto, just run. It's a legit thing, and I know it has a purpose, but they are using it, and it makes it so difficult to go after. As Gary was saying, I want the police to go get it. It's crypto. It's very, very difficult. We are making a lot of strides in that. We're able to. I have to usually get a hold of like a 3-letter agency to help me out. I can't do it from my desk sitting here. But we can seize money if it hits a certain, if it's in a cold wallet, it's not moving. It's code and it's there and it's locked, and it might sit there for years before it moves to an exchange where we could actually touch it. And if it's a couple $1,000s, it's not worth their time. They might as well cut you a check because it's going to cost more to investigate that and do all the legal paperwork and everything that goes into trying to seize it. They won't even touch it. If I call them and I go, hey, I got one for like $45,000, the $100,000, I had one for $4.5 million. And we worked it, we did. Fortunately, that one, the company actually ended up reimbursing my victim. It was a breach with Coinbase, if anybody's following any of that. Again, not them hacking into your account. This was a sort of social engineering, but more of a PII breach, the personal information. So somebody overseas, one of their call centers, somebody was selling the Know Your Customer information. They don't have access to your passwords, they can't get into it, but they have your name, your address, your phone number. They know how much is in your account, enough to talk to you and convince you they're with the support team. So it sounds absolutely legitimate. We need you to move it to a secure wallet or your money's going to be gone. well, they found out that they had been compromised and their information sold, and they actually reimbursed a lot of people for that, which good on them, but it's just that easy for that to happen. Like I said, for us to go after it, it's very, very difficult. Let's see. So these, real quick, these public service announcements you're seeing up here, I know that they're probably kind of small, hard to read. You don't need to really read through them. The last one I had was just one put out by the IC3. IC3 is a division of the FBI. It's all analysts and a big server network that will actually, when we do these reports of it, it'll look for commonalities, find other people scammed by the same people, and hopefully send the information to the appropriate jurisdiction that can reach out and do something. So they are making headway. They're going after them in India. They're shutting down call centers. But it takes gathering all that data. They're not going to go do that for one person who lost $10,000. So ic3.gov is one of the websites I want you to remember. That's where you would report any online fraud. Okay, so anything that touches the internet, you can report it on there, and they'll look for the commonalities and get your case to the appropriate jurisdiction. This is a different public service announcements from them regarding mail theft and check fraud.
Dozens of people have been arrested in connection with a major mail theft and fraud ring. Investigators in Santa Clara say they were found with dozens of IDs and passports. NBC Bay Area's Ian Cole explains.
What you're looking at is what residents say is one of several times a thief was caught on camera stealing mail from nearly every mailbox at a condo complex near El Camino Real and Scott in Santa Clara. Police say thanks in part to the video, they were able to identify the license plate of the car that was used in the crimes and ultimately raided 2 homes and arrested 12 people for mail theft.
I was shocked by their age. They're in their 40s. I mean, they're making a living out of this and stealing people's identity.
Brenda Collins lives at the complex and says they've been dealing with mailbox break-ins for about a year now.
My next door neighbor, her husband's driver's license was missing. And it's usually around the time that we have a long weekend.
There's a sign outside of one of the cluster mailboxes now warning residents not to use them. During the raid, Santa Clara police found stolen IDs, checkbooks, passports, even license plates belonging to dozens of victims. And they also found mailbox keys, a male uniform, drugs, and body armor. The complex recently hired a security company, and today we found one of their employees checking on the cameras that caught the alleged crime and installing an additional lock on the mailbox.
What we are trying to do is basically putting the contraption on top without destroying the integrity of the system, so that not they have to go through a 2 process.
The U.S. Postal Service has reports of criminals mugging mail carriers for their master keys, and so-called mass mailbox thefts are on the rise. They also say if you believe your mail was stolen, you should call your local police department and report the service.
And the more now, the maximum leading to arrest and conviction for mail theft is $100,000. So these are very serious.
In this case, investigators are processing the evidence and will ultimately return the stolen mail to its rightful owners. All 12 suspects were arrested on charges of stolen property, narcotics, fraud, and resisting arrest. In Santa Clara, Ian Cole and
So fortunately, I haven't been dealing with that much lately. I still talk to the postal inspector. He calls me or emails me every now and then, hey, have you had any more mail theft? It's still going on, but they've been staying away from us for a little while. But end of last year, I want to say, I was first on scene. I went to a case. They robbed the postal carrier at gunpoint. They want that master key so they can pop open that box and get all that mail. And people are going, what is in the mail that is so valuable? It's information, right? But yes, the checks, that's one, so that it usually branches off into multiple scams from there. Someone who goes and steals stuff out of a mailbox, now they have all of this available for multiple different scams. If it's a check, they have methods to wash that check, change information on it, and go deposit it, or they will just take your information and steal your identity, open up loans, open up accounts with Spectrum or Verizon or whatever, just using your information. So there's all of that that's very dangerous to be in the mail. Now, anytime we have something that originates with the mail, I get to call the postal inspector and say, hey, I got a case for you. And that's, they've got a lot more resources and work on that. But again, hopefully that has calmed down here. But usually if your information is compromised, it might have originated right out of your mailbox. So we'll just touch on the tax scams. They tend to increase around tax season, but they've been doing it year-round lately. There's a couple different scenarios for the scam. In one, the victim is contacted, usually via telephone, and told they have a legal order pending against them for unpaid taxes. Payment is required or they will be arrested. The tax scams are not limited to your IRS taxes. Scammers have also been targeting students at universities. Rollins, I deal with them a bunch over there. Those kids get targeted. So information, they inform them that they have not paid their student tax and they're going to come arrest them, right? So that's one, I can't remember if I have it in a later slide, but I'll go ahead and talk about now. If you get a phone call saying you have a warrant for your arrest, I don't clear those up with Apple gift cards. I'm not going to call you either. We don't take, the police department does not take crypto, does not take Apple or Google Pay, or money for that matter. If you have a warrant, that is our job to come get you and take you in. And I'm not going to call you and tell you I'm going to come get you. So, but they have, again, it's easy to laugh, but when these people get this call, it's very convincing. And again, now with AI, they've got a way to make it sound even better. I mean, usually you'll get the call and you can tell, again, the person talking to you, Agent Smith, doesn't have an American accent, and English is not their first language, but they're very threatening and very put that pressure on, convince you that if you go buy some Apple gift cards and read off the numbers to them, because that's nice and easy, right? If you go get the gift cards and then read them the numbers, you don't have to send them to them. They get those numbers, they cash them in online, and it's gone. Let's see. So more on the tax scams. The individuals will receive a phone call from a number that may appear to have an area code in Washington, D.C. They want you to look, oh, that's definitely federal, right? They're out of Washington, D.C. These guys spoof phone numbers. They will look like it's coming from your bank. It'll pop up and say Wells Fargo's calling you. But they could be anywhere. They spoof these numbers to make it look that way. If you ever get a call or you get a text message or email that says call this number, if it's for Wells Fargo, for example, not to pick on a bank, but just to say, call this number, go search for the actual number. Go look up their actual site or give them a, yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, so. So I went online to get Wells Fargo's fraud number, which is what the phone number said at the top, but it said to call somebody else. So I called Wells Fargo. He said, no, that's not us. Yep, they'll let you know, nope. They'll let you know that's not us, absolutely. But that number, but it's the same number that shows up, it looks like they're calling you, right? But then they tell you call something else. So this is actually a transcription, from someone pretending to be, somebody. It says, I'm Special Agent Steve, and I'm calling regarding an enforcement action executed by the U.S. Treasury, intending your serious attention. Sounds normal. Ignoring this will be an intentional second attempt to avoid initial appearance before a magistrate judge or a grand jury for the federal criminal offense. This is sounding serious, and we've got to act right away, right? My number is 555-1234. Advise you to cooperate with us and let us help us help you, right? Again, high pressure, got to act now, and just sounding, a little off. So upon calling the number back, the scammer will answer the phone, Internal Revenue Service, sometimes use threatening language. Again, they're going to say, yeah, if you don't take care of this right now, if you hang up on me, if we get disconnected, we're going to come arrest you. You just have to slow down and think it through for a minute. Victims are told they need the money immediately. Oh, why are you doing that to me? Always got to have IT fun. Okay. Yeah, threatened with possible arrest and deportation. But again, it's very easy to clear up. They'll inform them you can easily go ahead and pay their taxes by purchasing gift cards or completing a wire transfer, or even by sending cash. And I've seen it. They're using now Uber to come pick up a package and deliver it. So now I have a unsuspecting Uber driver is now a money mule. He's delivering a box full of cash to someone else, and then the scam can get even further from there. The person receiving the money got one of those nice texts that says, hey, I got a work from home job for you. You're going to be a crypto investor. We're going to send you money and you're going to invest it into these accounts for us. Yeah, it makes you a money mule. You're taking that money and you think you're doing a job, but you're taking stolen money and putting it into the crypto account off to the bad guy. So again, they use gift cards and Green Dot, Google Pay, and they want the numbers on the cards, and then they tell you throw the receipt away and get rid of the cards because they don't want us tracking them. So obviously, IRS isn't going to generally give you a call. I've never had them call me. It's a phone or it's a letter in the mail. Doesn't accept payment via gift cards or wire transfers or third parties. If you receive a phone call from a number that's unknown to you, don't answer it. That's the simplest thing. Just avoid it. If you believe you owe taxes, contact them directly at their actual website. The grandparent scams. So it's an old one. You'll get the phone call saying that it's their grandchild, or it'll be an officer saying, I've got your grandchild here with me. Says it's an emergency and they need money immediately. They might say, oh, I'm stuck in Canada and can't get home, and my car broke down and I need money to get it fixed right away. Some of them will say, they got mugged or they've been in a car accident. I just killed somebody and the officer's going to take me to jail. I need money for bail. I need this. They'll pose as an attorney or as the officer. And then, let's see, the getting their name. It's great. If you call and say, hey, they'll mutter a little bit and you'll say, Billy? Is that Billy? And then now they know, yes, it's Billy. So they didn't have the name initially, but they trick them into giving it up. They tell them, again, the high-pressure stuff, don't tell anybody, right? The officer might talk to you and say, yeah, we can take care of this, but don't talk to any other family members because you'll implicate them, and then they'll be indicted and have to appear in federal court too. So don't tell anybody. So, and again, no matter what the script is, the common thing is they want you to send the money immediately. It's right now. And you can do that with gift cards or crypto, however you can find it. I have had victims get convinced of this. They went to 11 different bank branches, withdrew $10,000 at each bank branch. And the reason they do that is because anything over $10,000 throws up a red flag for the bank. It triggers something, and the bad guys know this. So don't go with, they don't want your victim going and withdrawing $30,000 at the bank. Go to 3 different branches and withdraw $10,000. It doesn't alert the bank. That victim then went with all that cash to multiple Bitcoin ATMs inside smoke shops and gas stations, and even getting change or swapping out bills with the clerk because the bill was too crinkled and wouldn't feed into the machine. And they just give you a number to put into the machine to send all the money to. And meanwhile, where was that bank clerk asking questions? Why are you withdrawing this money? Where was that clerk that's making change at the smoke shop even? He might be pierced and tattooed and everything, but he can still say, no, why are you putting money in the crypto machine? It's a scam, stop. And I think one did, but they're so convinced, they don't want to listen, it's urgent, I got to get this money put in here. That is, my email's coming. Boop. Reading the cards. So yeah, prevention stuff on that. Again, if you get a call or email from someone claiming to be asking for help, check to confirm it's legitimate. Something came up in the discussion earlier. If they're claiming to be a family member, a good practice is to have a safe word, to have something that only your family member will know. So the scammer, even if they're using the best AI and sound just like your family member, because they can, because your family member, your grandson or granddaughter, has hours and hours of video of them talking and doing anything else posted all over the internet. And they get it, and they can use that, and it sounds exactly like them. And they just are typing a script, and it sounds just like your family member. So if you have a password, though, that, hey, what's the password? They've got to know, and then you can confirm that's them. Or you hang up with the person and call them directly. If someone says, hey, if someone says, hey, I'm Officer so-and-so, I'm out with your grandchild. Okay, hang up, call the grandchild directly. And they'll go, no, I'm sitting at home, I'm here. So yeah, I mean, this is talking about, like, aside from the password stuff, just more questions, pets' names, dates of birth, things like that they would definitely know that the scammer's not necessarily going to have access to easily, or it would take a minute to look up. Yeah, again, the urgency thing you'll see is a common thread. If it's high pressure, push, that's your red flag to slow down and say, wait a minute, this doesn't seem legitimate. Tech support scams. So these are one of my favorites as an IT guy. I would get them with companies. A lot of times these are not what you think, like hackers. They're not coming in like the Matrix. They're not coming in with code and breaking in. It's a little bit of social engineering. They're going to send that phishing email, and someone's going to say, oh, I'm going to click here and just grant them permission. So tech support. So if you get a call from Microsoft, I can tell your computer's dirty. I'm going to fix your computer for you. Just go to this website, and I'll take control, and then we'll clean up your computer for you. Microsoft's great, right? They'll do that for free, won't they? Just give you a call and say, I can tell they're scanning your computer and making sure it's got a virus. Oh, well, we'll just give them a call and fix it for them for free. They'll take control of the computer, a lot of times put up a fake page that looks legitimate, maybe your bank account and stuff, but in the background, they're looking at any information you've got on there. If you've got passwords, if you've got banking information, websites you've been to, they're just looking at all that in the background while they've got something else up that you're looking at. These call centers, like I said, are usually overseas. This one's saying like India, there's a lot of them. The different scams seem to have different regions. Our romance scams seem to be in Africa for some reason. Yeah, like I said, they'll request remote access. Once it's gained, they use the tricks and utilities to make it look like they're doing something while they're just stealing all your credit card information and everything else you got on the computer.
Most of the stuff you find on the web is good and can be useful. But just as in the offline world, you also need to watch out for the occasional bandit. In the offline world, if a stranger offered you some candy, you'd know better than to take it. The same principle applies online. If someone offers you a discount coupon, asks you to take a survey to win a free smartphone, or tells you that you want a trip to Hawaii, you should be suspicious of the content and the intention behind it. Social engineering is a technical term for content that tricks you into revealing personal information, like your login details or credit card number. Social engineering attacks can happen over email, ads, or web pages. Some attacks can be pretty easy to spot. Remember the rich prince who wanted to transfer millions of dollars to your account? But others can be sophisticated and pretty convincing. So let's talk about some steps you can take to avoid online scams. One of the most common ways to trick users is through email. Social engineering emails look like they're from a legitimate source, but they're not really. For example, an email may claim to be from a bank and say that your banking account has been compromised and that you must quickly email them your password to avoid having your money stolen. It's important to remember, never send personal information over email unless you're absolutely sure who you're sending it to. Attackers will use every trick in the book to make you believe that the address in an email is legitimate. Fake someone you know. So don't use the reply address in the message unless you are sure who the sender is, and don't click on links in the email. Instead, open a new window and type in the official website of the bank or company in question and find the contact address. Social engineering can also happen when you visit a web page. Scammers will generate a sense of urgency and create websites that look similar to sites that you already use. That's why, when visiting a web page, pay close attention to the page's URL, because attackers will often make this URL look similar to that of a genuine site. Before you enter any personal information on a web page, check the URL to make sure it starts with HTTPS and is preceded by a locked padlock icon. Other types of scams can trick you into downloading malware or unwanted software that may harm your device or steal your personal information. A website or an ad cannot detect if your machine is compromised. If you see a message while browsing saying that your computer is infected and asking you to download software, you should be suspicious. Remember to always download software from reputable sources. Now you know what social engineering is, as well as steps you can take to avoid online scams. And remember, if something looks too good to be true, it probably isn't.
So again, never give control of your computer to third parties unless you are absolutely certain you know who you're giving it to. If they reached out to you, it's a big red flag. If you're reaching out to them, it's probably a little safer, right? Like I said, unsolicited calls. If you companies aren't just going to reach out to you usually, you're going to have to contact them. Yeah, the tech support stuff, they like to use those little fake pop-ups. So if you see the little fake pop-ups, don't be that person that just gets mad at the screen. Just click, 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 click. I always had those employees. I'm going, what did you click on? I don't know. I'm going, okay, I don't know how to fix it. So, slow down, take a look at what's popping up. Again, the whole sense of urgency thing. Don't click on links that are unfamiliar emails. And be aware of anybody asking for untraceable payments. That would be the gift cards, Bitcoin, things like that. So we kind of touched on a lot of them. If anybody has, it sounded like some of you have some stories that you've dealt with. We can kind of just roam around and talk about some of those.
Yes, thank you. This is my husband. Usually on his computer, we will get something from PayPal to tell us that our account is going to be charged $464. It's usually the same numbers. Really weird.
Do you have a PayPal account?
Never. So that's how I know it's fake, because we don't use PayPal for this particular reason. Yeah.
Yep.
Also, when some of the scam calls come through, you can always hear that little whoop, and I hang up just immediately.
Yeah. So that delay when they're calling is that auto dialer. It's just calling numbers until somebody picks up, and then they get the light, oh, somebody actually answered, and then they, oh, hi. But yeah, if you're getting something like that says it's from PayPal and your account, just take that 2 seconds and go, wait a minute, I don't even have a PayPal account. I get, my phone number is from when I lived in Georgia, so all my scams come from, I owe tolls in Georgia. I'm going, I haven't been in Georgia in 8 years. So just little tips you just look out for like that. Anybody else have something to share?
I get the same PayPal message, but it's for $4.99. I was told, and I think, like you said, you can get that from social media, but I was told when you get one of those calls where no one's on it, not to say anything, because they record your voice and then use that back.
Yeah, I haven't had personally any cases where they've done it, but it makes sense to me because if you say the word yes, now it's your voice. There are things out there with that voice authentication stuff, and now again they're going to have that recorded. So yeah, just careful what you say. Just hang up.
Well, I have a funny story about how stupid I was, and then 2 questions. So I almost got scammed, this like 15 years ago. I caught it in time, thank goodness. And I was really angry. So I kept calling their number back, and I had a police whistle. And when they picked up, I would blow that damn thing as hard as I could. I did that for like half hour just to get some kind of revenge, because there's nothing you could do. Okay, so the quick questions. One, City of Winter Park, this is again about a decade ago. I saw some people messing in my garbage can. You know, you put it out by the road. And so I called the city, and they said, well, there's really nothing we can do about it. People have a right to go through your garbage once you put it by the side of the road. Is that true? And give us some warnings about that.
Sure. Once it hits the curb, it's considered abandoned property. And for some reason, some people, want to go through it. It might be just a local transient looking for a slice of pizza, or it could be someone looking for bills, things like that, that they can use. Just like instead of going to the mailbox, they're going to go to the trash can. So shredding things or getting rid of them in another way. If you tear it in half, put part of it in another trash can, another in another, so they don't get all the information. But yeah, actually the trash cans is actually something we use as a technique, because once our bad guy puts all his information and receipts and everything on the curb, we get to go grab it. It's now abandoned property. I don't need a search warrant. So yeah, keep that in mind. Anything you put in your trash is now someone else's treasure.